Welcome to the Memory Memo.
The first race he wants to film. And I get out of my car to go check in at the hotel. I got 9 cameras.
Oh my
And
gosh.
I turned around to him and I said, I'm out.
That's overstimulating. We only had like 2 or 3.
You know, I'm a very private person.
Yeah.
And I just called John and I said, hey, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, well, if you
And
were
the
a
same thing with the
producer.
Housewives of Orange County, I got pulled into that shit.
Last time I hung out, we were with the Housewives of Orange County, I believe.
So they
How did you get pulled into that?
So I was going through a divorce. I was all upset. Had lunch with my dad. There was a deck. There's a place called the Deck on top of a hotel there in Laguna. And I walk in. There's all the housewives, and I know them.
Right.
So they go, Mark, come over down. Next thing you know, I got boom mics and all this shit. I go, okay, I'm gonna start fucking off. And so they film a whole 3 hours of me with the girls.
Wow.
As I get up to leave, and I didn't know it was scripted. I was supposed to leave with one of them. I just say I'm leaving, and then the producers around me, you got to sign a release, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not signing anything.
So then they couldn't use the footage.
Nope.
Good for you.
So the next day, the producers of Bravo were calling me, going, "You can have full editing rights. You can have whatever the hell you want." I go, "No.
Wow.
If you use my image, voice,
Getting
I got attorneys come.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully the attorney isn't Robert Reed.
Dude, this guy.
Totally different."
Dude, this guy. Dude, this guy is just a way of background. He is the most legendary champion of the Baja 1000.
So explain what the Baja 1000
Hold on.
is.
That's so we all know where we're going, right?
Start it off.
San Diego to Cabo, 1,300 miles of shit, day and night.
Wild. 1,300.
1,300. And then they have the Baja 250 and the Baja 500 and the Baja 400. But I also raced lots of races in Nevada deserts.
What does it look like? A dune buggy kind of thing?
No, a $1.5 million, my current trophy truck that I still race is 1,150 horsepower, 850 pounds of torque, 6-speed sequential, and 3 feet of travel on 4 corners, highly engineered. You can go down a road that, like in a Ford fucking Raptor or whatever,
Uh-huh.
bouncing your head on the ceiling at 8 miles an hour. I'm going 110.
Wow.
Wow.
5-foot holes. The engineering is insane.
Yeah, wow, yeah.
I can imagine. Well, I've never asked you for anything in my life.
It's more than a dune
In
buggy.
that thing, that's what I want.
Well, not in that one. I rode in your chase truck, or
Oh, it's a pre-run truck.
pre-runner.
But
I was his navigator. That was
well,
insane.
Roberto Guerrero back in the day set pole at Indy and all that shit. He lived in my neighborhood. I said, I'm going out testing. You want to come? And I put him in the car, and I'm going about 80, and there's a 6-foot hole, and he starts screaming like a little girl. And I go, it's fine. Tap. So I did about a 25-mile loop with him, and he was speechless. He goes, in the Indy 500 or the road racing I do, a pebble scares the shit out of us.
Right.
6-foot hole staring at me.
How the hell did you get into that?
My dad.
Your dad was into it.
In 1967 or 80, watched on Wild World of Sports, the Mexican 1000. And so I walk out this little condo we had, and he's building a buggy in the garage. $5,000 budget, right? Where now the trucks I race in, the unlimited bad boys, 1.5 plus, and 200,000 a race to make them brand new again.
Oh, because
Strip them to the chassis, crack check, X-ray, and put it all back together brand new. Because these cars are 6,000 pounds and they get pounded.
Welcome back to the Memo at the Memory Motel. Today on the podcast, we have Mark Post.
and the world famous attorney, Robert Rivas.
You're right. I should have. Sorry, Rivas. Sorry, Rivas.
No worries. No worries.
Samantha Crichton's also back. Join us.
So here, tagging along.
Lawyer for Memory Motel 2.
That's right.
BK needs one.
One all the time, actually.
Mark, thanks for coming on, hanging out with us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give a little background on yourself so that way the people watching know who you are.
Well, my name's Mark Post. I know that. And, my background is very diverse. I mean, just very, very diverse. A lot of people want to write books and documentaries and stuff. And want me to speak at Harvard MBA schools and all this crap. I'm a street kid. You know, what am I going to tell these guys? Work hard, get up, be disciplined, have vision.
So Mark doesn't like talking about himself too much. So I'm going to give him a grand intro that he deserves. Mark runs and started and founded Javier's, which is probably the highest grossing restaurant, Mexican restaurant in the world. It's definitely
Concept in the world.
concept in the world.
No Italian, no French, no anything, nada, nada, nada. We do 2 to 3 times gross sales of any concept ever per store.
So he kicks ass. And
And it's not Mexican as you would think. It's high-end dining, experiential. We create ambiances second to none. We create service second to none. We create quality of food and consistency second to none.
and most importantly, better margaritas than I've ever had anywhere else.
Well, that's part of the quality of the experience. You know, Javier's is an experience. It's why people come back day after day after day, 7 days a week. You know, our restaurants now are 450 seats, 100 people standing behind the 450 at the bar, 100 people outside the gate, Sunday through Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah, it's great.
It has grown on average 20% a year. We just celebrated our 30th year. And we have many, many employees been with us 30 years. We have a family culture, and that culture translates to the experience of our guests. I didn't know it was going to become that. You know, in my prior career, I was a resort developer. I started with 2 people with an idea and ended up CEO of 32 offices, 6,000 employees, 9 resorts, a 10th in Kona, Hawaii under construction. Then I decided, because Javier is my friend, great guy, to open the first Javier's in Laguna Beach, 3,000 square footer, where the kitchen was so small, you couldn't stock food. We started doing well, so I bought refrigerator freezers for Javier's condo in Laguna de Gale. I bought a van where they're shuttling the food back and forth.
Oh, wow.
And then I'm sitting back doing my resort gig, and I look at that thing. It starts doing $5-6 million a year, 3,000 square feet. And I said, Mark, that might be a business. so now I'm going to be at 11 stores within 3 years, or we're going to be, Javier and I. But it's a hell of a story. An illegal immigrant crawled around the wall from Tijuana, 18 years old. I'm an asphalt shoveler in San Bernardino, $5 an hour. My dad was a paving contractor. And he and I became friends in Laguna and stayed friends, and then ultimately opened the first little 3,000 square footer, and it's all history now.
It's so awesome.
Yeah.
And he's got locations now. Obviously, everybody knows the California, but I think in Vegas, it's at Cosmo or Aria. What is
Aria.
And I remember hearing a story that like they actually were making so much money at this bar that they wanted this bar instead of more blackjack tables and expanded it. Is that true?
True. So my good friend Bobby Baldwin, CEO under Steve Wynn, and his president Bill Macbeth, developed Treasure Island, Mirage, Bellagio, and then ultimately Aria, which was a $9 billion development, and Bobby ran it all. The rivalry I had that I was going to do the reality TV show with the cops guy was against his son.
Oh, really? Fun.
Look up BJ Baldwin Rampage.
Mm-hmm.
Can drive. And so we were having these historic battles in the races, and so the cops, John Langley, asked us to do the show. Didn't work out. I don't like being filmed all the time. But,
Casino.
so what happened with the Aria Javier's it's only 9,000 square feet.
Was it really?
16, 15,000. And I went to Bobby, they were developing Aria, and he gave me a location just outside the casino and I wasn't feeling it, so I canceled. Eva Longoria took it, lost 20 million there. Then they invite me back out to relook at that spot. And as I'm walking down the casino, there was this rectangular restaurant called Union. It was dead on arrival. The casino was dead on arrival. No energy, no vibe, no nothing. And I said, Bobby, what about that one? Can I have that one? Well, I'll look into it. Well, Light Group was the operator of all of MGM's, clubs, nightlife,
Restaurants, the whole full guy.
and that was their restaurant.
Oh, wow.
Bobby says, are we going to have the biggest gunfight for this one? I said, so he gave it to me. So I said, I got one more favor, Bobby. This is a swear word in Vegas. Take out 60 slot machines.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah.
Tell me who Bobby is.
And I'm going to push my bar into your casino and create energy.
I tell you, it does create energy because I go to Vegas all the time for different trade shows and whatnot. Actually, when we went, because you came out to Vegas a few times, where's the first place that I took you, right?
Yeah.
Javier's.
Yeah.
And,
It's also the first place you took me to in LA.
well, I guess I'm a Javier's fan.
I am too. No, not for nothing. I am too. I
It gets better. It gets better. So we're walking food and beverage, their MGM corporate bowl, with their team outside that, we're about to open. And Bill McBath, great friend, great operator. He moved over to Cosmopolitan and they had not made a profit in 4 owners and he turned it around into a big money maker. He's a great operator. Great. So Bill looks at me one night and he goes, Mark, I've been around Vegas for 30 years, MGM, you'll do about 12 million a year.
Oh, he called you on 12.
Yeah. And I said, all right. So then we're walking with the food and beverage crew. And Javier asked the question, would it upset you if we have people waiting to get in outside the restaurant on the casino floor? And they laughed at him. They said, that's never happened. Well, 9,000 square feet, the last 5 years trailing, does 1 million a week.
A week.
Wow.
That's awesome. $1 million a week.
So, and Newport does.
The bar. That's a lot of tequila. So you got to be a very big.
No, we're 45% booze, 55% food. But Newport does $1 million a week. Newport does $1 million a week.
3,000 square feet does $1 million.
No, it's 15,000 now.
Oh, it's bigger. Okay, got it.
We moved.
Newport Coast.
Yeah. And so that's unheard of numbers in the restaurant industry. There's never been a concept of any kind that did. I mean, we're 2 to 3 times more. I mean, there's 12 Mastro's steakhouses out west, right? They average 12 million a store. We average 32 million a store.
It's wild.
And so
Why? Don't get me wrong. You got a great food. You got great. Why are you so
fire.
special? What's your
there are 3 secrets, my opinion.
Yeah.
Number 1, create an experience, an ambiance where people forget where they are. You walk into a Javier's, you escape from the outside. Number 2, service culture. Create a service culture that makes every guest, 600 of them standing in there, feel like family. Consistent service culture. Number 3, food quality and consistency. So you can be in Vegas, eat a shrimp enchilada, fly to Newport the next day, eat a shrimp identical. So quality ingredients, food, quality ingredients, drink. Who's going to pay $20 for a house margarita, right? But they know every time, handshaking, perfect quality, boom, boom, boom. Same thing with the food. So if you get all 3 things right, you're a Javier's.
Mm-hmm.
So we've had at least 50 copycats in the world when they see how busy we are. Oh, we'll knock that off. We'll take this idea design-wise. We'll take this idea. We'll take photos of their food. But they can't get all 3 right.
Right.
So they all fall. They all fall.
I think consistency is a huge thing. Like consistency.
Yeah, of
Even
experience.
if you have one store or one restaurant or one whatever, that when I ordered something today, it's exactly the same 2 weeks from then or a month from there or a year from there. I think consistency kills the food and beverage industry. Like if you can't have a consistent restaurant
And service.
I mean, no, I'm not saying you're not
All
wrong,
three
but
parts. All three parts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All three parts. If you don't,
It's the to me. So when I met him back
Who do you guys meet?
2007 or 8, something like that, with
Wow.
somebody named Melissa Arnold.
oh boy.
I was at
I was
Hot.
going through a divorce. He had this friend, not girlfriend, friend.
Yeah.
And she was a whack job.
Sounds right.
She lived in my neighborhood. And so she introduced me to Robert, blah, blah, blah. And here we are.
Yeah, it's Melissa Arnold. So I started, and I've traveled the world. I started my career as an international banking lawyer, all that shit. So I've traveled all over the world, and I love Mexican food. I'm not Mexican, but my parents are from Central America. But I grew up in Whittier, and I knew Mexican food. And when I ate at their restaurant, what I noticed was growing up in Southern California, we're used to regional cuisine from Baja, and other Mexican food is maybe too sauce heavy for me.
Tex-Mex
Or
or this
Tex-Mex, all that
nonsense.
shit. This is like the beef. It's
Tex-Mex.
so what I noticed is what I noticed when I went there was the quality of the shrimp, the lobster, the beef, the poultry. It was super high end. So much so that growing up there as a SC guy, whatever frat guy, I always would cook Mexican food with the highest end poultry, beef, whatever, and it just made a difference. So when I went there, I was like, wow, these guys are fucking doing it right. And then, getting involved he now owns a tequila brand with Javier, and it's called Javier's Tequila. That even translated to the beverage side. They don't cut corners. They go only for the best. That tequila is produced by perhaps the most famous tequila making family in the history of the world. No,
15 years to cut the deal.
Don Julio family?
the Gonzalez family, yes. So they don't cut corners. It's just the best everything that you can have.
Now we have a new mezcal coming out in a couple months.
Well, I will be.
He loves mezcal.
I will be on it.
I have a question about tequila. So I heard that, also, I don't know the first thing about like the logistics of making it, but the longer the agave's underground makes it more premium, like for more expensive tequila.
You're correct.
7 years underground.
You're correct. Now,
Cheaper 3 to 2.
to call it tequila, it has to be made in the state of Jalisco.
Okay.
Guadalajara is the hub. You could go to the lowlands,
Mm-hmm.
tequila, and other places. They have different earth,
Right.
water. They have pepper trees throughout the valley, and all of this affects the agave flavor. To do it right, the average agave, and they're like giant pineapple.
Mm-hmm.
Seen them, yeah.
It looks like a pineapple on top, but there's 50 pounds below. Okay. The longer you let them grow, the more sugar content
Right. That's why it's so crazy to
comes
me.
out of the sugars. So we tested everything in the lowlands, and then outside of Guadalajara is called Los Altos, the mountains. Okay. And up there, it's like Hawaii earth, red, nutrient, the water's amazing, and all the agave we use in our tequila is grown in Los Altos. And we don't take, a lot of guys cut corners, take 2-3 year agaves out, just produce shit, excuse me. And we let them go 6 to 8 years because the good
That's like the best.
tequila masters buy only the agave with the highest sugar content.
Right.
That has, in the Los Altos agaves, they have a vanilla finish, they have a soft finish, a complex finish. The ones out of the lowlands of tequila are very sharp, very peppery, very totally different. Totally different.
That's why you could really taste the difference between a cheap and expensive tequila.
Well, tequila in the beginning when I was growing up was Jose Cuervo.
Right.
Jose Cuervo Gold.
Yeah, right.
But everything
I
was
drank so much of that when I was a kid.
And I got a hangover every time.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I instantly think of a handle.
Yeah.
No, I think that square bottle, man. That's
Jose Cuervo Gold.
yep.
So, but the agave content in Jose Cuervo Gold was 10%.
Speaking of which, let me get a smoocher.
Grain alcohol.
Was it really?
Oh, yeah.
So that means like the agave is underground for
Right.
a few years.
It was crap.
The mass producers have to pull and
And Don Julio was the first man to realize, I'm going to make agave. No additives.
Crazy.
Don Cuervo was 10% agave, 90% grain alcohol, and a little coloring, so it looked like, And I had plenty of hangovers with it, guy.
You know, I like so much of that stuff.
so the Highlands grows the most prestigious, or the most prestigious tequila brands are in the Highlands. If you think about it, Patron, Don Julio,
Because
all
of the agave.
And I'm sure they have like, you can go and visit like as if you're going to the vineyards and do all tastings.
They're exactly like vintners.
I need to get over there.
No, but these tequilero masters are just like winemakers, vintners.
Right.
They have their proprietary secrets. They have their this. Robert and I went to Oaxaca to make the mezcal, and they blend different kinds of wild agaves into different formulas, just like wine. It's like wine.
cut corners, and that's when I knew that this restaurant group was different. In fact,
Right.
I would tell people back in 2008 when I first started visiting and eating there that this concept will one day be the biggest thing in the world, just because of the ambiance, the food, and the guys behind it, and
Right.
and it's happening, and it happened. It's
I think the bar itself looks so iconic. Like I think that in my mind, when I think Javier's, I think of obviously certain aspects. I'm a tortilla chip junkie, so I think of how many baskets of chips.
Crackhead.
Well, you know what?
Gross. I'll grab
You
two.
know what? You know what?
Food's addicting.
You know what? What makes you eat a basket is the salsa.
Yes.
Best house salsa on the planet. We're always approached to take it retail, Costco, all over the fuck.
Buy it.
And
soon.
people go through tons of baskets. People go through tons of baskets. And Javier came to me, it was funny, about a year ago, and he goes, Mark, they're starting to charge for bread in LA. They're starting to charge for this. We should charge for the chips. I said, Javier, because we spend a lot of money on chips and
I
stuff.
bet a mint. Yeah.
And I said, Javier,
I can't even imagine how many chips you go through.
I said, 6 stores, though. Those are only 2 I'm talking about. And so I go, Javier, you're out of your friggin' mind. I said, let them come in and eat the shit out of the chips and salsa, and they're going to order 5 $20 margaritas.
Yeah, that's the
True, because
Oh, yeah.
now you knock it down.
yeah, that's the key.
So the chips-free salsa costs us 1.5% of sales. So what's 1.5% of 180 million?
Yeah, exactly.
Those are
Drop in a bucket.
well, 10% of 180 million is 18 million. 1% is 1.8 million.
So look, you made
Salsa.
what
Yeah,
happens?
but still, it's like the amount you're
No,
making off
I
the
call it.
back
I
end of
call
that
it.
stuff.
You know what I call it? The bait.
Yes, I was going to say it's like a gateway.
It's the bait.
Yeah, for sure.
Where do you go? Like you're growing. You're gonna this like. Are you going to one day sell? You want to keep it, or what's your? Maybe you don't know yet.
I do know. Javier's 74, 75 years old, and I'm 67, and I feel like I'm 27. So I could roll as long as he could roll.
Yeah.
But out of respect to him, I said, let's package this 11 thing restaurants up, and I'll make you a promise that within 5 years, we'll sell the restaurant brand, but we'll keep the tequila and mezcal brand, because that's a $1 billion deal there.
Yeah.
You're in the booze industry.
And so, and I have another idea that I'm working on. And I talked to Javier a couple days ago. I said, why don't we hire now? Did I talk to you about this? Why don't we hire now a COO under you that you train the next 5 years, and you can just be the figurehead, because we don't have any assurance this is going to sell. So let's create a plan B where if it doesn't sell, you still are bouncing your grandkids on your lap, and you're the figurehead, like Nobu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In L.A., when he had one restaurant called Matzo, he said, Robert knows it well. I know it well.
Too well.
And yeah, and
Express knows it.
And Nobu was cooking my private dining sushi, whatever, boom. And then De Niro got a hold of him, took him to New York, and they did first Nobu outside of LA. And then Nobu basically became the figurehead. Nobu hotels, Nobu restaurants, Nobu this, Nobu that. So I went back to Matsuhisa, I tell you this, a couple of years ago, and he's a great guy. And he's sitting in his little chair next to the hostess stand. That's his baby. He doesn't want to go out there and be the showman, but he is the figurehead.
Right.
Yeah.
So I can develop a organizational structure where the restaurants can operate and Javier can be Nobu.
Understood.
Yeah.
So,
Was that what you first saw? Like, you got to tell the story. So in the beginning, I know this story, but Mark had met Javier. They were both coming up. They didn't have any money, and they were talking about, hey, when we get, yeah, I mean, wasn't it some version where Mark is like, hey, one day we're gonna do a Mexican restaurant. You're kind of giving each other.
no,
Okay, you correct me because this is your story.
no. So my mom and dad split. My mom went that way. My dad went to Laguna Beach.
Okay.
I moved with my dad. He used to take me to this little Mexican restaurant called La Paz, and Javier was the busboy and dishwasher. And my dad liked him, and I liked him, and we chit chat. Then he got hired at a little restaurant called Tortilla Flats. It became a bigger restaurant. And his mother-in-law was the cook. His wife was the hostess, and he was a waiter. And so my dad and I'd go in there and eat, dick around with Javier. And so I've known Javier 50 plus years. Okay. So then I'm this asphalt shoveler out there getting up every morning in Laguna, wanting to go surfing, wanting to play beach volleyball. My friends are going, come on, let's go to the beach. And my dad said, no, Mark, at 15, get your work boots on. You're going shoveling. But I praise him for that because it taught me how to work.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So Javier said, I've never seen any idiot, because Javier finally became the manager of this little Tortilla Flats. And I beg him, give me a waiter job. I could do it. And Javier told me, I've never seen a guy fight harder for a job than you. I said, yeah, I want it off that asphalt shovel. You know you have a crappy job when it's 100 degrees outside, the asphalt's 200 degrees, and you go in the outhouse, and you think it's better to sit in the outhouse. So finally, at 21, he hired me as a waiter. And I was finishing college, and I spent 3 summers as a waiter with Javier. And we had a great crew, great ambient, just a blast. And there was no human resources in 1980s. Yeah. I mean, it was like game on. So I never started a fight, but I knocked out 3 waiters out cold at work.
But you ended it.
No, I never started one, but they all went to the hospital. And so Javier, like there's one guy split his head wide open, this fucking buffed out guy. And we're standing in the kitchen, I'd come up the beach, play beach volleyball, serve, whatever the hell. And we got free food as waiters, so I'd come in there, I'm eating in the kitchen, we're all in there. And this guy kept messing with me and he grazed my face. I see he's made a big mistake. So I grab him by the head. He's flailing in the background. I'm standing there smiling with all the waiters. And I drove his head straight into the corner post of a metal thing. Split him wide open, dropped him, pool of blood right in the kitchen. And Javier, do you know this story?
Yeah.
So Javier comes in and goes, Marcos. I go, what? Here's your punishment. You put him in your car, you take him to the hospital, you sew him up and bring him back. So I go, if he'd ever fired me, there would never have been a Javier. So at the end of the 3rd summer of being a waiter, and I finished college, I said, Javier, you're the greatest manager I ever had. if you ever come available, find me. Well, we were both penniless. And he laughed, like, really? Well, he subsequently lost his manager job there, and wrongfully. And he was selling burritos and tacos out of a converted Der Wiener Schnitzel called Doe's Tacos. He calls me up and goes, Mark, did you really mean that? Yeah. And I'd saved my first $500,000, wife, 2 babies. Told you the story. And Javier calls me up and goes, did you mean that? Yeah, let's find a spot. And I put all my first $500,000 of savings into that one store. My wife looks at me and she goes, are you out of your friggin' mind? 98% of restaurants fail.
Yeah.
Good feeling about this one. And I'm a foodie like you. And I go, all I want to do, I'll make plenty of money in the resort deal ultimately, but I just want good food.
Yeah.
Eat and drink there.
It's like social and all that.
And then
I mean, I think that's the key too for me personally. It does have, it's Javier's Cantina, and that it does have
I dropped Cantina 25 years.
I know, but it has a Cantina vibe still.
I dropped it 25 years. It's Javier's.
I know, but it has the vibe.
It has, the original 3,000 square footer, I added Cantina to Javier's because it was a little cantina.
Right.
You can't call a 16,000 square foot, you can't call it a cantina anymore.
Or you're just being really humble.
Cantina, and just went Javier's.
16,000 square feet. How big is this place? 1,000?
Not 15,000. I'll tell you that much.
It's not 1,000 square feet.
Well, you're smart. Why don't you tell me?
According to my calculations.
I'll put it. I'm pretty good at this. I would put it.
Just
Kitchen and all in the number. Or you,
Well, so I was more thinking, see, we fill up the whole outside area. So I'm not counting
well, that's patio. I never count.
the inside.
I get 5,000 square foot of patio. The 16,000 is interior AC space.
Oh, so you got another 5,000 on top.
So, if I was going to guess at this one, you're a couple thousand square feet.
yeah.
You're a couple thousand square feet.
I think it's 2,400.
I was going to put it at 2.
Yeah.
That's
If you count the
enormous.
bathrooms and the little back room there and the inside, I think it's
Think
20.
about that. We're
I think
talking
on
about
the paperwork it's
21,000.
2,400. I think
Imagine we had to get 21,000 people here, or 21,000 square foot of people here. That's crazy.
21,000 square foot of people.
Drinking alcohol.
He doesn't say.
It's like a warehouse. I know.
Can't get in.
What?
Robert doesn't know this story. So I'm standing outside this 3,000 square footer in Laguna. I'm majority owner, right? So I sit there and I go, Javier, I'm going to name it Javier's. He goes, you can't, Marcos. You can't. You cannot. I said, name it Sylvia. My wife, name it anything. Don't name it Javier's. But I know the man so well. I knew if his name was on that building,
He had to make it work.
he's going to make it work. So I said, you don't have a choice in this one, Javier. I'm the majority owner, and it's going to be named Javier's. And now, my name's never mentioned in at all. It's Javier. I don't care. My ego,
Yeah.
It's like he has to be the front man. He has to.
Well, but you won. You got all the toys, right? I mean, it turned out to be a great thing.
Amazing.
Well worth the investment for sure. That first.
Yeah.
What about like?
But I put a lot of personal.
I was literally gonna ask the same thing. Like, what? Everybody knows the good part, right? They've been there, they know it. But like, there has to be a lot of struggles. There had to be like some stories where you're like,
Oh, really?
no, it was smooth.
Yeah, my resort development. No, I'm saying agree. In my resort development company, I was bankrupt for 15 years, just wouldn't admit it.
Mm.
Pushing dollars, trying to survive, scrapping. Fortunately for Javier, when we got going, I financed every restaurant.
Right.
You can't get bank loans for a new restaurant. They don't exist. So, for example, Newport, I wrote a $14 million check to build. Irvine, another 15. Nobody's going to give you that money. So, and on top of that, I've got a lot of history of running businesses and things, and that's what I bring to the table is that strength. My job in the partnership is to find the location, negotiate the lease, design it, build it, and hand Javier the keys and say, go make time.
Go make it work. Yours from here.
And he's the best operator. So we're a good team. We're a good team.
Obviously, it's a great team working out really well so far.
What one thing that one story that I love about Mark to this day is the Baja 250 story of when above the law.
Oh, yeah, it's all over the internet. But
Well, so you're also Baja.
I don't know.
Dude, he was like he was chased like the Dukes of Hazzard, basically.
they're gonna do a redo on that. I know some people in LA, Hollywood, whatever, and they heard this story and they just go. And I was just in Baja a little while ago, and I said to this LA friend of mine, I said it was basically Smokey and the Bandit. He lit up. He goes, Mark, with AI, we can take your footage, and I'll tell you the story here in a minute, what really happened. But he goes, we can take your footage. We could have Jackie Gleason saying we're going to get that son of a bitch. Dragging me down, and they did. The federales dragging me down the road in handcuffs. We got that son of a bitch. And he said, I'll make this thing go viral. I said, okay, let's play with it. So here's what really happened. The Baja 250, I won 3 times overall, which means out of 500 teams, you're the fastest one guy. Okay. And the beginning years of racing, I couldn't make it 50 miles. Fast, but broke the car. So I'm in this race. My partner, Rob, does the first half. I do the second half. And I'm just doing my business.
Wait, when you say, I didn't mean to cut you off, but when you say do the first half, you guys are both in the car, just a different driver, or what does that mean? Do the half?
No.
Switch.
One driver, one half.
It's like a baton. You hand it off, it's the next person.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
And that allows you to what we call pre-run. I pre-run every race mile 4 times. So if it's 500 miles I'm driving, that's 2,000 miles I'm looking. 4,000 GPS notes, hazards, this, that, because half of it's at night. So anyway, I'm doing the second half. Rob gives me the car. We're in the top 3 overall. And there was a 5-mile pavement section at the end of one section. And the rule is you can't go over 60. They GPS track you. They drop a seed every 1/10 of a mile. And if you bust that, penalties, penalties, penalties. So I come up on the pavement. And I know it's only 5 miles to a left turn down in the dirt. Okay. So I just cruise up on the pavement. Fortunately, I had 5 cameras out the back, 5 in the cab, GPS tracking, 5 in the front, and a helicopter filming it, right? So I hop up on the pavement, and I'm just cruising 60, never broke any rules. And my helicopters give me time splits on, the guys we're trying to beat. And all of a sudden, 2 Federale cars light me up. And the Federales in Mexico are not to play with.
Mm-hmm.
And he's pulling alongside me, pull over, pull over, pull over. I go, why? I didn't do anything. I know if I pull over, I lose the race. It's a timed race. So he comes alongside me. It was classic. Now I got 2 behind me, 1 on the side. He pulls in front of me, woes me down to about 3 miles an hour. And I say, I go around him. Now I've got, I didn't know it, but now I've got 3 more Federales coming head on. I got 3 with me, so I got 6. And I know the course, so I watched the guy come alongside me. He goes up to 100 miles an hour, and I said to myself, he's going up there where I drop off the pavement to get on the dirt road to 110, so he's going to block the road. So I get there, he's blocked the road, so I go around that. I got 3 coming this way, 3 coming this way. I swoop down this slope, and 110, bye-bye, right? And it's a swirl, just like, Smoke in the Bandit, all the fucking classic. So I had about 80 miles to the finish line, and it's real quiet in the race car. My navigator, he goes, And Kelly, my navigator, says, Mark, just remember I have 2 little babies at home. I said, don't worry, Kelly. They're not going to forget. We're going to see guns before the day is over. So I'm going through little fish camps, towns. I'm waiting for them, you know. Where are they? Where are they? So I get over the mountains to the finish line. Still haven't seen them. So Rob tells me on the helicopter, he goes, you've won the race. So I cruise down. I got it 30 miles to the finish line, 30 yards. And here they come. 6 to 8 of them, AKs, pissed off, running down the course. So I just hit the brakes and I went, and then I wouldn't get out of the car because I know if I get out of the car, they're going to beat the hell out of me on the hood, right? So I just sit there in the middle of the course, probably 500 Mexican friends screaming at the cops, leave them alone, and throwing beer cans. It's classic. So then the second car starts coming down the mountain, and the cops go, you got to pull off. So I pull off to the side and let that car go by. And I figured they'd calm down enough, you know, so I get out, boom, slam me on the hood, handcuffed, they're dragging me down the road. And I look over my shoulder to my navigator, I go, drive it over the line. Just to stop the time.
Mm-hmm.
So then it went through a whole review and all these things. And I said, all I'm asking, I didn't break one rule. And they said, Mark, do you really believe we're going to allow the message to be sent to the off-road community you can run from the federal police? And so it became a video that is well known out there in off-road racing called Above the Law. So they reviewed all my in-car footage, helicopter footage, saw I'd ever break any rule. I said, all I want is the time back from the time they put the guns on me till it got driven across the line.
Uh-huh.
3 days later, internet, Mark Post overall champion.
Right on.
I like that. That's
So Parnelli Jones, legends in racing. I'm sitting at lunch with them, and they go, you got the greatest story in the history of off-road racing.
Can you just explain that story? I was seeing it in my head as if I was watching a movie, and that needs to be like a movie for those of
I think we should
witness it.
with the AI and shit with
Yes. Yeah.
Jackie Gleason and, you know, Burt Reynolds and fucking, but it is a true smoking.
Wow.
incredible. Wow. Well, that's good.
Makes me think of Vanishing Point.
That was good, man. Should we
Yeah.
wrap it up? Mark, thank you for coming
Yeah,
out.
Mark.
man.
Yeah, thanks, man. You
My pleasure.
6 stories. Love to
Wait,
have you back.
wait, maybe
I got more.
And I mean, like, could fill up hours and hours.
family about your.
Oh, you know, this is a really good piece for me to throw in.
Yeah.
The Post family is Dutch. And I didn't know that until I went to Amsterdam one day and threw my credit card down, and a lady said, Post? That's like Smith, Van de Post. Oh, okay. Then I went outside and I'm cruising around Amsterdam, and I go, wow, these are my people. Cool, tall, you know, fucking
Oh, yeah.
and so my dad wrote, before he passed, he wrote the Post family history.
Hmm.
Photos, the whole 9 yards. And I didn't know it until I read that book that Sergeant Richard Post came from Holland in the 1400s. And the Post family was one of the original settlers in Southampton.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Oh.
Wow.
So Sergeant Richard Post, I Googled it today just to confirm my dad was right. And there's a whole thing on him. The Post family in Southampton.
Very cool.
And can you imagine that boat ride? Oh, we didn't have GPS map.
They followed the stars.
Didn't even have showers.
Yeah. You're running out of food. By the time we were like looking for land.
So, Sergeant Richard Post is one of the original settlers of Hampton.
That's awesome.
That's incredible.
That is so cool.
Yeah. So I'm going to go find his house. I hear it's a historical.
Oh, like a landmark.
Definitely is.
Sure it is. Yeah.
Well, without him, there'd be no Javier. So
Yeah.
Well, I think the Post family made about 1,000 or 1,500 before me. But it was-
Oh shit. So
I've never been to the Hamptons, and I've always been very curious about.
so you know what the thing about the Hamptons is it's a very short season, right? So you're operating over 16 weeks. No matter what they tell you,
It's seasonal.
very seasonal. And it's gone even from 16 weeks. It's now 16 weekends. So there's less action. July 4th is insane.
Yeah, what do you do midweek?
Like we have service industry night. We have a memory Monday night, which is like a big thing.
Yeah, it's like a real like it's the industry night we call it. Pretty much, it's everyone who works all weekend and busts their ass, makes a bunch of money, needs to blow off steam. That's Memory Monday. So we do really well with that. Actually.
Yeah, so it's the local.
Yeah, it's anybody who's out here for the summer.
Yeah, in the industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So all the rooms are actually rented to service industry people. So we rent to other bars, hotels, that kind of stuff. So, we have a basis of some people and then the rest of the people come. It's like a very good time. But Tuesday, Wednesday is crickets. And, Thursday.
Like this coming Monday is one of our best Mondays, the Labor Day Monday, because it's like the end of summer.
Yeah,
So
they're all.
everyone works all weekend long, and then it's usually like.
But isn't it like 2 or 3 weekends in a row where it rolls?
Yeah, I mean, July is incredible. And some years have been better than others, But July is really July is just insanity. It's millions. It's like an ant farm, It's just people everywhere. It's a lot.
What percentage do you think come from the city?
120.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. They can't wait to get the shit out of there.
Yeah. It's
It could be raining. In July, it could be raining out here. If it's hot in the city, they'll come out. Like, it's just July is insane. So, and
You should have brought some Javier's tequila.
Well, it's in the plane over at the little airport over here. It's about 20 miles away.
send Uber George. Where's
so this is your first visit to the Hamptons, then?
First 4 hours.
Wow! All right,
Wow.
and we got you right.
Wow.
Green as it could be over here right now. That's great.
And I enjoy the vibe of your memory and your bar. In Laguna Beach, they have a bar that's as old as this one called the Sandpiper. And we call it, same vibe, same deal. We call it the Dirty Bird.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right on. Yeah, right on.
And
Get ready.
it's exactly the vibe.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
It's still running since the 60s.
Yeah. Well, that display. We're the.
So 40s.
So this bar was
I don't know if 60s is right. It might have
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
It probably
built in the memory of like a guy who was lost at sea. And if you go to the end of the bar or the end of the motel, whatever it is, there's a tombstone for the guy's son that was lost at sea. So that's where the memory motel.
I think I'm wrong on the Dirty Bird. It was there in 1957, so it had to be there in 1947.
Yeah.
Right. That's wild.
That's that vibe for those old. That's why you say it's got the same. It's,
And I walked in and I go, "This is
This
Sandpiper."
is the Dirty Bird.
yeah, it's just a dirty.
No, you should see if you can Google Sandpiper bar in Laguna Beach, and you'll see
It's that vibe.
clone.
I like it.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad we got to get you green and come in and chat with us and cut it up.
Yeah, you guys are great,
We
man.
got 6 stories, and I
Appreciate
could
you,
do this
Rob.
for 10 hours,
Thank
man.
you.
Yeah,
It's
Rob.
so-
No worries. No worries.
Well, my girlfriend knows I have no shortage of stories.
I love it.
Very blessed to live a very interesting life.
That's awesome. Well, guys, thank you very much. Join us.
Thank
next time
you.
on the Memo.
So tonight's going to get rolling. Tonight, starting about 11, 12 is going to start kicking.